The Wilmington victims, the blacks who suffered as a result of the race riots of Wilmington 1898, are owed compensation. Their descendants are owed that compensation. Why? Because that was a coup d'etat. That Wilmington race riot was the first and probably the only time in American history where a municipal government was overthrown by the citizenry. You've never had that before. It was a coup d'etat. Coup d'etats are military. So since the government was changed through military force, and because the community was destroyed through military force, reparations are owed by the municipal government for doing nothing about it, the state government for not intervening, and by the federal government for watching it and doing nothing about it at all. So yes, they are owed reparations. Without a doubt, they are owed reparations. And it is important that as they work to calculate the amount of money that they are owed as a result of the Wilmington massacre, they need to make sure that they include psychological damages as well. When we talk about reparations, a lot of times we don't talk about the psychological cost of trauma, the psychological cost of the riots, the psychological cost of losing your family, the psychological cost of being run out of town. I would submit to you that the psychological costs of the Wilmington race riots of 1898 may be more excessive than the financial costs. Because when you talk about psychological pain, you can't really put a dollar on that. You could put a dollar on the business. You could put a dollar on how much the home was worth. You can't really put a dollar on how much my pain was worth. So as the brothers and sisters in Wilmington form that legal team, and I hope they form a legal team of sincere attorneys and consultants, because a lot of black people are going to want to swoop in as you bring this issue to the forefront. A lot of black people are going to want to swoop in, and then they're going to want to do what? Create a niche for themselves within the reparation movement so they can get paid. And if the blacks in Wilmington are not careful, if the descendants of those who suffered this are not careful, much of the reparations will get paid out through capitalistic, selfish Negroes who hustled the struggle. It is also important that as they come up with the list of requirements for reparations, that they don't be too quick to look for a financial payout. Instead, they should look for unlimited access to certain services and total control over certain industries. When you talk about reparations, because the cost of the trauma was so extensive and unending, the payment that is to be received, your compensation, should also be excessive and unending. You see, what if black people never had to pay a property tax as a result of having their property taken? That's perpetual, forever. What if our children automatically had free access to the universities in the state? Forever. That's perpetual. What if we were given exclusive right to certain industries within the state? What if we were given exclusive control over certain lands within that city? That's perpetual. Be careful about money. Money runs out. And because we don't have a self-sustaining economic community, if they were to give the black descendants of the victims of the Wilmington race riots a financial payout, white people know through economic science that that $1 trillion will be back in their hands in 25 years. Why? Because you have no businesses of your own in which to spend it. So we have to be very strategic with our war for reparations, because if we're not careful, white people will give you the money in one hand and take it all back in the next, because you don't have independent institutions in which to sustain yourself.